Hello there everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Better Than Wolves with Gord. I'm here solo today. My wife is having an evening off. We're sort of trying to get people organized for the caving trip over at the jungle. In the meantime, I'm working on some prep and the mob system today. But first, just for kicks, we'll do an enchantment. Level 15 being our max, I have levels coming out of my ears. Ooh. Now you see, this is going to be, theoretically, maybe, an option as our armor for our fight against the dragon. And it looks like somebody has been building, which means it hasn't been as quiet as I thought. A couple people have taken a few days off. So this, it looks like somebody has built a home, a tower of some sort over here. Crazy town. Somebody's forgotten to light up the top of their tower too. That's going to be an interesting and minor challenge, I think. Huh. Crazy town. I don't even know who's doing this, but not bad. It's coming along. Anyways, so for those of you who missed it, I talked about the general options for sorting in Better Than Wolves in the last tutorial and tours episode. I popped that off into the other series. Oops. Oh dear. So here's a little factoid. If you eat too much, you get fat. If you get fat, you may note that I am moving slower. I'm going to actually have to go on a diet here. That's what I get for not being careful about how much I eat. Well, no caving for me today then. We'll stick with easy to access surface adventuring and the like. Anyways, as I was saying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link up in the upper left corner right now, if I remember, to the video I just recorded. I just posted it yesterday, but if you're watching this as part of the playlist at a later date, it'll make it easier for you to find. It's basically a rundown on how to sort things in Better Than Wolves. So it goes over the hopper filters, bellows, and the buoyancy options available. It's real fast, real brief, and it doesn't go over any of the specifics about how to apply it. That's what we're going to talk about today. See, I've been very busily preparing for that. Along with, cutting down a few more trees and digging out a bit more land. It's starting to have an impact, though. Whoa. You missed me. The changes are beginning to impact my mob system here, as you can see by the amount of experience points that are coming out at night. The other thing that's going on, as you can see, I've added another row of hoppers. And in all honesty, I hate this solution. More storage space just means I'm storing more junk that I don't need, and I'm risking losing the stuff I really want, which is the iron and the scrolls, and to a lesser extent the bows. The bows are nice to haves as well. So, it's pretty obvious to me that I need to spend a few minutes and get that organized. And oh, hey, look, over there. It's like I was prepared. This is a quick rundown of my rough plans for the sorting system, part of which we're going to assemble today. It's in shorthand, so I'll go over this quickly. It's taking into account basically all of the mechanics, and some of these are secondary sorting systems, which I'll go over as we look at them. So, first things first, the soul sand gets taken out right away. We're going to keep that right there, because what will eventually happen is we'll reroute that into a spiral XP storage tower, the design of which we will talk about another day. But for now, all you need to know is that XP, get that out of the way first, because you need as much vertical space to store it as possible. Number 2 on the list, first item to be stored is niter, funny enough, because it sinks and it only goes through, the smallest filter it goes through is wicker. Now, cool, sugar floats. but goes through wicker. So sugar comes out as soon as the water level is low enough, and then right after that, string and scrolls come out as well. So that takes care of the first batch of items here. Now, string and scrolls can be separated using the bellows, as I discussed in my videos. Scrolls move 3, string moves 2. So we'll use the bellows to separate those, and we will never run out of space for scrolls to be stored, which is my primary goal here. So, excuse me, still getting over that strep throat a bit. But this will be a secondary sorting system. I'm not going to worry about that for the moment. That'll be dealt with at a later date, once I get this whole space cleared and organized a bit more. But we'll talk about that later. On the main channel, things that go through a grate and sink include spider eyes, slime balls. Yes, slimes spawn up in there, I discovered, because I guess it's a swamp biome, and I guess slimes spawn in swamps. So I got slimes coming out my ears. And venom sacs, which will come out of the jungle tower. I can't separate any of these, at least not by any method that I have identified yet. They all go through grates, they all sink, and they all have the same properties as far as the bellows is concerned. 5A here is not a secondary process. It's another grate, this time things that float, namely witchwort and oysters. Again, haven't figured out how to separate wort and oysters as of yet. 6th step, trapdoor. I think both these items sink or float. They have the same characteristics, so no special separation there, but arrows and bones can be separated with bellows, so that'll be a separate bellows-related process. Arrows move, bones don't. And I think sticks will be in there as well. Sticks and bones have the same properties, so I haven't figured out how to separate those guys yet. Next up, iron bars and things that sink. It turns out potions sink, but empty bottles don't. So we'll be able to separate out the healing potions from the rotten flesh and empty bottles. As of this date, rotten flesh and bottles can't be separated. Now, I will fill you guys in if that changes. If there's still 1 or 2 more updates to Better Than Wolves left, according to Flowerchild, and he may consider addressing those things. He might not, and that's his prerogative. I hope he does. I'm obsessive about these things, but that's okay. I will deal with the cards that he deals. Number 9, ladders and things that sink. Things that... I think I got those two mixed up. I might have. Ladders and things that float, or things that sink. Iron's going to come out before. I think I got these two mixed up. Iron is going to come out before the bows do, because iron sinks, bows float. And the last group is going to be mob heads. And eventually iron materials will get shuffled off into probably one of the first things I'll do is shuffle the iron off into a crucible so that I can melt it down and have more room to store it. So that's the basics. So what we need to do here right now is just take this straight channel of water and reconfigure it for item storage. So all of these hoppers are going to get... And now what I need to do is make sure that I can access everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here. I'm going to rip out all of these hoppers. Let's shut off the water. There we go. So I got to be careful. This one is weird because of the undertow that's going on here. So let's see what we got here. We have so much crap, it's not even funny. I should not have been carrying this. So fortunately for me, I think I didn't bring any hoppers. That was silly of me. Alright, let's turn these into a quick storage. Oh, crap. The things you forget when you forget. That was unfortunate, and it's slightly expensive. I gotta go get that. Gotta make sure all this crap is accessible and doesn't get lost. Eventually there's going to be floors and all sorts of other good stuff here. There we are. That'll do for temporary storage. Let's get back up the top. And we'll run down the ladder here and get that hopper I dropped. Because that was kind of unfortunate. By the way, I came down here, guys, and I reviewed this space with the goggles on. It's pretty good. Found a few spots that weren't working right, but I also reviewed a few of the bigger cave systems, and I'm glad I did. There was definitely a lot of gaps. Okay. The goal here is just to store some of the stuff that I want and hang the stuff I don't. Like rotten flesh, you know, screw it. And I'm going to have more of some of the basic stuff than I know what to do with. The key to the sorting system is to get rid of the stuff I don't care about and store all the good stuff that I do. Alright. That's a lot of crap. And there's some of the valuable stuff right there. Just cycle all of this off into here. It's been kind of nice. I've been using the sticks and stuff for yeah, all the sticks for crafting of late, which has been kind of interesting. I'll just throw soul sand there. So we'll get rid of the rest of these, and then we'll go review our. Okay, that is a lot of stuff. That is kind of funny. Alright. So much junk. And so much not junk, too. And you guys can go here, because I'll be using you in a minute. Oh, and that, I think, was a witch noise. Get rid of some of this crap later. Yeah. I've actually been over here and emptied this out a few times already. It's been kind of mad just how much stuff this has produced. So, I mean, we're not hurting for any of these mob drops in the slightest. I'll come back and make this look pretty another day. My goal right this instant is just to, and actually you don't want to move this whole thing over one, because that will eliminate the issues I was having with, oops, with the undertow. I was having trouble with undertow at the first hopper there. So this whole line is going to be a little longer than it used to be, because I have to space things out for sinking and floating control. So let's see what we got here. So first things first, soul sand, done. It's right here in its temporary configuration. So we need the wicker. We're going to need 2 wicker filters. Now, I haven't seen any sugar, so it's possible that was removed. I just wanted to make sure I had accounted for it, because I couldn't find a patch note that said whether or not sugar had been explicitly removed as a witch drop. You know how it is, better safe than sorry. So wicker slats. Those are the first 3 filters. And those are all going to go before the water drops its first tick. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Ugh, bug flying in my face. It's weird, it has just slammed from being relatively normal weather to being absurdly hot today. Alright, so, in theory, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I might have to put that there. I think I do, actually. if this is going to be the wicker float filter. Oh my word, look at all this stuff. A couple of minutes and it's already... Let's see. Things that sink. So we've got that. Did I have any sugar here? I can't recall if I had any sugar actually in storage here. Doesn't look like it, but... So the next... So there's... So floating things need to be in depth. Probably in these last two streams is where I want to put them. Maybe even... Let's see, let's try... Need this right here for a second. One there, and one there. Alright, those will be our last two hoppers. So we need wicker. Goes here. And slats go here. And this go away. Goes bye-bye. Man, that sure did not take long, did it? Alright. Alright, that's stage one. The first batch of stuff. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4 are done. 4A is going to be bellows. That can stand off to one side. Because all of that should go into this last filter right here. Oh, I'm off by one. Dang nabbit. Alright. Fine then. I'm gonna have to break this. I'll figure out how to get these two hoppers to... I might have to do a hopper stack or something. I forgot completely about the whole business of having to have the water actually drop one level, which is what that is going to be right there. Whoops. Okay, well that's a lot of extra stuff. Alright. So, undertow means an invalid filter location. The next item on the list is... We need things that go through a grate and sink, things that go through a grate and float, and then things that go through a trapdoor in their entirety. So, that being said, we'll go one extra block. Things go through a grate. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should work. We'll double check by checking these hoppers at a later hour, once they've had some time to process. The hardest part about this is that it has to take a greater distance. Alright, we'll put that there temporarily. Whoa, what was that? Alright. So, I guess that must be the noise that... Alright, so... Looking good. So we're supposed to be getting spider eyes in the first one, creeper oysters in the second, and arrows and bones in the third. So that is going to be a pretty apparent set of bone. Good. Creeper oysters. Good. Spider eyes. And with lots and lots of that other stuff too. Of course, I just saw all that stuff fall off the edge, so maybe I want to get going and get the rest of this done. See, the other way to deal with this would actually be to use rail carts to shuffle the stuff off to a central storage location, but that might be more work than is necessary. So, next up, we have iron bars and ladders, floating and sinking respectively. 2 iron bars, 2 ladders, and 1 last hopper. Of course, I've got no extra hoppers right now. but we'll deal with that in a minute. Actually, I need 4 hoppers. But that's, yeah, okay. I'm also short on cobble. That's okay, because I have a lot of work to do to hollow this place out. You'll see. I have this habit of having ideas, and these ideas tend to get out of hand quite extensively, because I can sit at my desk, and during my spare time, I can brainstorm. And my brainstorms usually wind up being fairly deadly to my sanity, especially when it comes to the scale and scope of construction projects in this game. So, yeah, I may have gone just a little excessive again. Alright, there's that. Now is there a block? No, there isn't. Okay. Whoops. You go there. You go there. Alright, so we're dealing with stuff that sinks. Actually, interestingly enough... Oh, no, wait. No, mob heads... If I do... Alright, so undertow... Oh, right. So let's see. So things that sink. Gonna go in the first couple. So if we do things that sink through ladders, and then, hold on, ladders and iron bars, which one needed to be first? Iron bars, I think, need to be first. So iron bars and ladders can go there. And then theoretically, no. There we are. Okay, stop this madness. And then theoretically we put you there. And we're going to need 2 more for this to work completely. So in theory, we needed potions and iron items. Should go in those ones. Where's my potions? There they are. So relatively rare items, but that's okay. Potions and a bow should not go in there, but an iron shovel should, if my calculations are correct. So far so good. The bow has not entered. The potion should not go through. Oh, yes, that worked. Okay. Okay. And then, all right, we're going to need one of these. Oh, that's full of mostly junk. Let's transfer some of the good stuff into here. I can't remember if string is used for anything significant these days or not. There we go. Now I'll deal with the fact that those two are right next to each other at a later date. So then it's ladder first. No, iron bars first and then the ladder. And then right there at the end will be one last hopper. And that last hopper will contain the mob heads. And that should be, it says here in fine print, everything of importance out of this system. But we'll check that by throwing some of this stuff into the system. As if I don't already have enough of it, right? There we go. But, you know, some of this is going to get redirected into the garbage at a later hour. Of course, I don't have anywhere to put the dang mob heads yet, so I'd better go get that hopper. Alright. I wonder where rotten flesh was supposed to go. I can't even remember at this stage. That one. Perfect. Hopper goes into the end. Break that open. Drop that last hopper down. says here in fine print. That should be everything. So, with that done, everything should be in its place, in a place for everything. As sorry, fly. We had to open all our doors today because the weather has just gone completely nuts and heat-wise. Okay, so nothing but niter in there. Nothing in there, but that's because I haven't seen a single bit of sugar to date. It might spawn, it might not. String and scrolls, perfect. Spider eyes and slime balls, as expected. Creeper oysters, and nothing but creeper oysters, although I think what was supposed to go in with creeper oysters? Another, witchwort. So witchwort should fall into that one with the creeper oysters. Looking good. It's being a little glitchy. That's the Minecraft servers for you, though. Oysters and witchwort, and we're going to make sure we get lots of that. Leave lots of room for witchwort. Now, the only thing this system doesn't do right now is deal with excess. That's going to be an issue for another day. Yeah, sticks, arrows, and bones. We want mostly arrows at this stage. So what we're going to have to do is redesign that last filter for the mob heads. We're going to put one last, because what's going to happen is those things are going to start clogging up these. Oh, hold on. Potions, empty bottles were not supposed to go in here, were they? Where were they supposed to wind up? I thought they had different properties. Oh, maybe I put that one too soon. Did it just get hooked, or what's the... Nope. Okay. That one might... This set might be too soon. And then we should have nothing... Where'd those bottles go anyways? Oh, is this one 1, 2... Oh no, the bottles went in the second. Hold on. Yeah, those are definitely too soon. Okay, quick reconfig. Okay, get that. Did I get everything? Nope. There goes the hopper. So we're going to have to redirect things so that the stuff... Actually, the easiest way will just be to have it go over that hopper last, and then everything else will just go die in a fire, basically. Something fell down here. I have no idea what. Yeah, so we'll just redirect everything else to the flames, and that will take care of the excess. I just need to make sure there's, you know, limited room for that excess to enter my sorting system here. There we are, that should do that. Alright, bars and a ladder. Shovels out of there. Cobblestone goes here. And then we go here. This one goes under the last water stream and actually 1, 2, 3, it should, things that float should touch bottom right there, which means iron bars right there, ladder right here, bows we'll throw back in, and then cobblestone, no, we'll flow things over the edge, and a couple more blocks into the burning chamber of doom, which will be right at the end of the water stream. Because really, I don't need all this junk. That's not good. That's a great way to get yourself killed, isn't it? Oh, God. Stop it already. out. I cannot see a dang thing. That was not entirely well conceived on my part. There it is. Light. Alright. Alright, this is just the way down to the there we are. The burn. Right there. We'll go get some netherrack, we'll light it up, and that will be where blocks go to die. I don't know why I'm filling that back in, because I'm going to have to deal with that later. Okay. Throw this stuff back in. I mean, this is going to be a process of fine-tuning to a certain extent. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Okay, creeper heads, skeleton heads. Because you never know when you're going to need a metric ton of mob heads, I tell you. And so I got to make sure I save lots of room for those, because I have at least one friend, Trent, who will probably want to decorate his entire base with mob heads. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Alright, none of this is particularly important stuff. We'll deal with it later. Okay, so, one last check here. Igniter. Future site of sugar. Probably not going to have anything in it ever. Arcane scrolls, so far not a lot, but eventually the home of all the rest of them. I'm going to have to make sure I actually get the rest of them before that gets, or get this sorting system up and running soonish, because I do not want to run out of those. Witchwort, creeper oysters, bows and arrows, and sticks. Going to be a problem. Full bottles, swords, empty bottles, rotten flesh, bows, mob heads, and the fire pit. Mob heads. So we're going to want lots of everything. So the one I'm going to have to monitor very carefully here for a while is going to be this one right here, because this is going to contain the most valuable items possible. And the reason I have split these piles up is to make sure that they get retained. Because in the long run, that pile right there is the primary reason I've built the mob system in the first place. Well, one of the primary reasons. There's a couple. You know, there's always the just because I can reason. Alright, let's get some netherrack. Actually, for now, maybe I shouldn't do netherrack. Maybe I should just redirect. No, because stuff that's just going to sit around, it's just going to sit around, it's going to screw up everything. It's going to screw up, in particular, mob spawning. From something I've read once, said that huge numbers of entities on the map can screw up mob spawning. I have no idea if that's true or not. It's just one of those random things. I do know it can screw up your game, which is one of the reasons why hoppers and their relatives are such nice things to have. So, yeah. Well, that went well. Oh, I should show you guys. We had a few I did a bit of profitable off-screen caving. I can only show you guys so much caving before I'm sure you'll go completely insane. But we've got lots of gold. This is 3 full stacks of iron ore cooking there. We have fair amount of redstone, and we're getting pretty good on coal. And, oh, I had to add a separate box for netherrack because I spent a bit of time in the nether, too. Which is why we are here right now. For that, and one of these, and one of these. I think I melted down the existing flint and steels for raw materials. Didn't really need them at the time. Oh, and the chicken farm's been plugging away quite nicely as well. We're starting to get a pretty good stock of arrows that will actually be compatible with the composite bow, which will be extremely helpful for the dragon fight. I'm really hoping that goes as smoothly, more smoothly than the process of finding the dang portal is going to go. I guarantee you that. I guarantee that is going to be a nightmare. Abandoned mine shafts. Not my favorite place in the world. So I'm not sure this is the only solution to sorting, but this is my solution. It is similar but not identical to the system I used back in my last attempt at this, which has never been on camera. I will show it to you someday. It is back in the old world. I'm reasonably certain it still works, although it certainly doesn't. It's a little cheatier than this one, because back in the day I had access to Silk Touch, and so the sorting system uses ice channels, which of course you can't. It predates hardcore buckets as well, being mandatory. So the design philosophy is a bit different, and I'm much happier with this one actually, because it's one of those situations where I designed the mob farm and then Better Than Wolves came in later, and I reconfigured it to use a sorting system, but by that point the ice system was kind of necessary for it to work. You'll see someday. Someday. Alright. But I'm much happier with that. Just overall, all things considered equal, this is going to be much more useful to me and much easier to clean up the stuff that actually matters. Of course, yeah, the biggest trouble I'm going to have, this is just the way things are going to be right now, is that with these systems all unpowered, the whole system is very rapidly going to get clogged up with things that shouldn't be further down the line. So getting these hoppers powered up and getting the second stage storage and some overflow capacity built will be really important. Anyways, if you guys give me a few minutes here, I think this will probably be a good spot to end this episode up. And in the next episode, or possibly part 2 of this episode, depending on how things cut, we're going to start working on a little bit of measurement and planning up on the surface there. So, see you guys in a few minutes.